people, and welcome to PressPoint. Today, we examine Kenya's standing among our peers in Africa and beyond in matters of international relations. So, are we receiving cheers wherever we go, or are we causing panic every time we knock on the gates of our fellow Africans? Funga mlango na useme dadia yuko. Is that what they say? Yes, guys, we are talking about diplomacy. Sometimes loud, sometimes expensive, and sometimes just plain awkward.
It's gonna be great. I'm Josh, I'm 27, no pressure. And today I'm gonna kiss a girl for the first time. Can I kiss you?
Sure.
Now, let's start with a moment not too long ago when President William Ruto was just a deputy president, testing out some diplomatic jokes. And like all jokes, you never really know where they land. If they land at all.
If we double the production of milk and it doesn't require rocket science, na tuuze, hata tuwache kuuza nyingi, tukiuza hata 3 billion liters. Hapa DRC, hao watu, wako na 90 million people, hawana ngombe moja. Hii DRC, watu ya kuimba hii. Sijana kwanda bongoma, nani, hawa wa kuimba. Na wanafunga suruali, wanafungia hapa. Hiyo watu, twende tuwauzie maziwa.
Do you know how bad it feels to be told that all you do is dance and you don't even have a cow? Huh? Unakimbia tu kwa maklabu kwa Nairobi na una hata ng'ombe nyumbani. And seeing as Kanda Bongoman's name has been adversely mentioned, I am sure he's hurt.
Yeah, the heart.
Yes.
Yeah, the heart. His history for this heart is because they used to confuse me with another singers.
My bad. I thought I heard him say Imeni Heart. But seriously, does someone like Kanda Bongoman really need a cow? Which he would need to babysit for 3 years with Napier grass before he gets some milk? Perhaps not. Now, here's Kanda Bongoman dancing without a cow in the wild. Without a chair in the wild. Dancing aside, back to the diplomatic showdown. Let DRC speak for themselves.
We are very shocked to have followed with regret. Running for this office as a presidential candidate, one need to sharpen a sense of diplomatic responsibility and public speaking.
Senator Francine Muyumba asking then Deputy President Ruto to refrain from using ugly words towards the Congo. Of course, William Ruto was like, hey, my friends, kwani nyinyi wanaamuji dombolo ya jokes? Munajua tu kukatika lakini banata kusmai. Hii maneno ilikuanga tu ni jokes bana. And when elections were held and William Ruto emerged victorious, he obviously stopped running and now started flying big time to where the jets could take him with the support of friends who will remain unnamed for now, as he worked on making new waves on the global stage and essentially announcing the arrival of a new kid on the global diplomatic runway. Missteps notwithstanding. Now, being a major non-NATO ally means we get to access monumental privileges, like, for example, getting to address a joint session of the US Congress as the first African president to do so. Okay, well, not the first African president, but the first Kenyan. And that's good enough, by the way. But you all know we were not successful in that. And so our host was like, let me do a consolation prize here, yeah? And we had an opportunity to take pictures with Shaq. And also sat in Daddy's chair. Now, this one, my friends, goes straight into our CV. Now, it obviously feels good to sit in that chair, right? That's exactly how my daughter feels every time I let her fall asleep in my bed, only to immediately move her out for obvious reasons. Si mnajua lazima dombolo ya kitanda ifanyike. All right, now back to Kenya's designation as a major non-NATO ally. When the US granted Kenya this status in 2024, it officially recognized the country as a key partner in regional security and stability, particularly in counterterrorism and peacekeeping operations within Africa. But wait, was our scope of operations really limited to Africa? Anyone with a contract to confirm that? No? Either way, because we are not exactly known for reading the fine print, we now found ourselves fighting America's battle in Haiti. Were we tricked? I don't think so. Were we enticed or promised something? Your guess is as good as mine. Kenya's major non-NATO ally status means, or rather reminds me of those small-time primary school bullies. You know, the ones, class 4 students who could take on an older student and help you settle a beef. Yeah? So if you're in class 8 and you need some help, you approach this class 4 bully. Yeah? Let's call him Major Non-NATO Ally. And you tell him, Mwanze Jemo, unajua tuseme ni cross vibaya. Help me deal with this guy. You know me niko class 8 and I can't be seen fighting. I don't want to get suspended. And the eager standard 4 be like, hapo sawa, mimi nitamuinua mbaya mbovu. Bora tu uniwae half-life kwa kantini ya shule. Problem is, with these kinds of arrangements, Kenya essentially fights unknown battles and ends up being America's side chick. Oh, you sure it's not that? Okay, so according to the guy that you will not see, it's Sidekick. So like all situations where sidekicks are involved, things don't go as planned. Leadership changes, and then Kenya finds themselves footing the bill. Biden took us to a fancy restaurant, we ate to our fill, and then he excused himself to use the gents, and that's how we never saw him again. And as Kenyans, we know ourselves. When someone else promises to pay, we go all out on the menu. Waiter, mimi sitaki mukimo, hebu niletee lasagna ala bolobolo ni nini whatever na kasosa pivyo kwa kando na kapilipili. Niko na msi analipa, yani sponsor, Big Daddy. For volunteering to lead the peacekeeping and sometimes fighting missions in Haiti, Kenya has racked up a bill of 5 billion Kenya shillings. And we're not sure if the US is going to foot it or we're going to have to ask the UN. Ukienda huku unaambiwa, kumbe US hawaja kupatia kitu. Wewe rudi tu nyumbani, nita follow up. Alafu nikuambie. I mean, surely, who does that? And now, we are forced to get into our own kitty.
The government has consistently defended the multinational security mission, insisting that its financial burden is being carried by contributions from member nations. However, despite repeated assurances that Kenyan taxpayers would not foot the bill, the government is now seeking an additional 2.5 billion through a supplementary budget currently before the National Assembly. This comes after an earlier request of 2.1 billion Kenya shillings, raising fresh concerns over transparency and priorities.
Oya, ebu ambia watu wa university na madaktari wangoje. Yeah, we have other things we need to sort out first. There's Haiti, you're serious. Yeah, let's sort Haiti first. Okay, maybe we are just not good at away matches when it comes to this diplomacy stuff. Let's come back home and see how we are faring with our neighbors in the north. That's Sudan. In a nutshell, there has been a ruthless power struggle in Sudan between Sudanese armed forces led by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF, led by General Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo, commonly known as Hemedti. And if you are struggling to tell them apart because they both look unsettled, I'll add in a third person for comparison. You will notice that Hemedti is tall and William Ruto is wearing a countersuit, the same color as the background, which means he will blend in perfectly and no one will see his role in the conflict. So, what has Kenya done as a current leader in EAC to end the carnage and the humanitarian crisis raging in Sudan? Maybe bring the parties together to a table at a neutral location and then urge them to sign a peace accord? Anything like that? No, that's not how we do it.
Tonight, Kenya finds itself at the heart of Sudan's escalating power struggle. The Rapid Support Forces, RSF, one of the warring factions in Sudan's brutal conflict, is set to announce a parallel government on Kenyan soil.
Members of the Sudanese Rapid Support Forces gathered in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, making bold declarations about their political future. Led by General Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo, commonly known as Hemedti.
That's Sudan. Naturally, Sudan's reaction has been swift, interpreting Nairobi's actions as a serious betrayal. Now, in response, Sudan has announced that it will no longer be importing Kenyan goods, especially Kenyan tea. Now, this is a major blow, considering that in the peacetime, Sudan has been purchasing nearly $37 million worth of Kenyan tea annually, the second highest importer of value-added tea from Kenya. The impact, you may ask? Potential destabilization for Kenya's tea industry, which already faces stiff competition from countries within the EAC. I know you could say that Sudan should have allowed us to deliver the stocks we had already packed or just given us a warning. Sadly, this is diplomacy. So how does Kenya see this action?
Kenya's Foreign Affairs Principal Secretary, Korir Sing'oei, has described as, quote, a gross overreaction. His statement to Citizen TV reading, it will not deter Kenya from privileging dialogue as the only mode of resolving the Sudanese conflict.
Peaceful dialogue could be what Kenya and President Ruto had in mind, but this isn't it. If you have been living with your neighbor's ex for a whole month, yeah, and one day that neighbor asks, hey, bro, what's Amina doing at your place? You'd be like, nothing. We are not doing anything. Actually, she sleeps in the SQ where we are doing peaceful dialogue. Like, really? Who are you lying to? It doesn't matter what Amina moved in with to your place. It could be jewelry or it could be gold, which you and Amina intend to sell somewhere. Just saying. And P.S. I don't think I would call that overreaction per se. I think it's just a reaction. Overreaction is when someone finds a fake video praising the government and then quickly shares it without verifying and then deletes it.
For decades, Kenya has been the stabilizing force in East Africa, brokering peace, managing crises, and keeping the region from descending into total chaos.
For a government that struggles to match sound and picture, I'm not surprised that this caught them unawares. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Sudan and Kenya are undoubtedly brotherly nations and close neighbors. Just because the world has shifted towards transactional diplomacy doesn't mean that we must follow suit. If Khartoum were to decide today, enough of this tea ban, it's not working, let's just go find this major non-NATO ally, Kenya, in the kitchen and pour also free of hot tea on her face to spoil her looks. It's not like our NATO ally will come to the rescue. It will be a stark reminder that for Trump, alliances are conditional. If you have nothing to offer in return, you're on your own.
You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
We're telling Ukraine they have very valuable rare earth. We want what we put up to go in terms of a guarantee. We deal with Ukraine where they're going to secure what we're giving them with their rare earth and other things.
So if, hypothetically, right, Sudan were to attack us, they wouldn't attack us, right? They wouldn't, right? Anyway, but if they do, it would be because we are hosting people they don't like, but whom we happen to like a lot. So what exactly would we, as Kenya, have to offer Trump in exchange for protection? Gengeton is dead. We offer them calligraph. No, we need calligraph. I got it. We'll give them Mira. We'll give them Mira. Mira makes sense, right? With such spins, it would just take 2 hours, and that Mira would be in Florida, delivered straight to Trump. So what's the takeaway from all this? Kenya's foreign policy is the way it is, and it seems many in the centers of power don't care. We can chat with Macron while our fellow Africans look on, frowning in disbelief. We can have coffee with the Sahrawi Republic in the morning and then call Morocco in the afternoon and ask, kwani mushaja juu ya kitu kidogo kama hiyo? Surely. Namna gani, my friend? But what exactly is Kenya's grand intention for Africa? And how do we best execute our diplomatic strategy for the continent? Is it by letting our money speak for us, like spending $500 million shillings to help Baba apply for a job at the African Union? But why are jobs applications becoming this expensive? Or if our money doesn't speak for us, maybe we just speak for ourselves and loudly. By fire, by force. And yet, despite all these maneuvers, we still do not have the last laugh.
From Djibouti, 33.
This upset aside, how is East Africa perceiving us? Could we one of these days eventually lose our diplomatic edge when another bold East African leader stands up and declares, all right, Kenya, that's enough. Imetosha sasa. Baby steps clearly, but there are potentials, yes?
Your Excellency Samia Suluhu, President of the United Republic of Rwanda, of Tanzania. Your Excellency Felix Tshisekedi, representing President of Uganda, of Congo. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. Be on the lookout for our next episode. And honestly, I cannot stress enough why you need to subscribe. We might just use our non-NATO ally visa and put you on a jet to America so you can share some diplomatic secrets with Cat Williams or share lunch of beef with Kendrick Mjama. Who knows? So hit that subscribe button. This has been PressPoint. Like, share, and subscribe.